Hello, everyone, and welcome to this course on leadership. Why is leadership the meat of the organization? In this PowerPoint presentation, we will define leadership, then we'll watch a short video explaining what is leadership, what it should look like. Then we'll discuss the characteristics of good leadership and the effects of negative leadership on an organization. Then we will look into the different leadership styles, and to sum it up in a short summary, we'll go back over the PowerPoint. Then you will receive some references for further reading. First, let us look at the definition of leadership. In business nature, leadership is the action of leading a group of people or an organization. Now you're going to watch a clip on leadership.
Leadership is empowering others.
The art of example, the art of influencing others.
Leadership is realizing your own potential within inside yourself and seeing that come to fruit.
Leadership is not just getting people to follow you at all. It's about bringing people along and leaving a legacy that other people can continue on into the future.
I think that good leaders are the ones that see strengths within other people and drive those out and help them find a direction. And then those leaders that were empowered go on to do those to other leaders and then other leaders, and it's kind of this regenerative cycle.
And it's also realizing that you have to lean on others and in order to be successful in anything that you do.
The best leaders have an accountability with one another and a desire to help develop other people to grow and to mature.
You know, Jesus every day served others, and no matter what he had going on in his life, every day he set out to serve the people who followed him.
The most critical component to the leadership style of Jesus of Nazareth was the idea of serving others, whether it was through washing his followers' feet, to saving a wedding, essentially, to giving his own life at the end for what he viewed as his purpose in life.
Like the president has a cabinet and they do so much of his work. In the same way, Jesus had those 12 men, those 12 disciples that he created really intimate bonds with, and that after he was gone really carried out what his mission was.
And by watching how he interacted with people, by watching how he built relationships, you automatically knew what leadership was and what he meant and what he stood for, because that's how he lived his life authentically every single day.
While he knew that there was very large things going on and that he was responsible for a great deal, he chose to become the least of those, and he chose to empower others, and he chose to lead by example, and that example was serving them, because he knew that in serving them he was fulfilling the will of his Father. And the best leaders, I believe, are those who realize that they're not only serving the people, but they're actually serving God.
Okay, now let us look at the characteristics of positive leadership. Positive leadership creates an inspiring vision of the future of the organization. Creating and inspiring a vision entails painting a realistic picture of where the company is going to be in the future. It also motivates and inspires those to engage in the vision. This entails the leader paying attention to the processes of everything's going on in the organization and seeing what is working and what is not. They recognize these things and work hard to connect their vision with the individual needs and goals. They manage the delivery of the vision. Now, here is the link between management and leadership. There is a time for everything in the business world. There is a time to sell, a time to participate, a time of delegation. An effective leader knows which approach to use, when it is needed, and when to use it. Positive leaders coaches and builds a team. In order to build a team, leaders must understand team dynamics. Leaders ensure that teams have everything they need, the skills and abilities to do their job and achieve their vision. This is done by giving and receiving feedback. This is also a great way to look for potential leaders to carry the organization in the right direction. Here are the effects of negative leadership on an organization. It leads to low morale, which in return, higher turnover rates. Reduced productivity, nothing gets done. Decrease in profits due to reduced productivity. The worst scenario, the business fails, complete business failure. There are several leadership styles, but the three most prominent leadership frameworks, which were founded by Kurt Lewin, a group of researchers in 1939, were the authoritarian leadership, autocratic, participative, democratic, delegative, laissez-faire. Now we're going to look at each of these and a few more. Take a look at the picture, authoritarian leadership. Authoritarian leadership, also known as autocratic leadership, these type of leaders provide clear expectations of what needs to be done and when it should be done. They make decisions independently with little or no input from others in the group. The best time to use this form of leadership style is when time is of the essence and the leader is the most knowledgeable in the situation. Participative, also known as democratic leadership, is usually the most effective form of leadership styles. Democratic leaders offer guidance to group members. They also participate in a group and allows input from other group members. These types of leaders encourage members' participation, but in the end, they have the final decision over the decision-making process. Delegative, we're holding hands and we work together. There's little or no guidance from the leaders in this form of style of leadership. The members make all the decisions. Now, this style is only going to work if everyone is highly qualified in the area of expertise of the project. This also leads to poorly defined roles and a lack of motivation when this style is used. Transactional, as you can see, you're following the leader. Okay, now we're going to have your assignment to learn what your style of leadership is. Go to the following site and take the leadership quiz. Once you complete the quiz in a Word document, tell me about the results. Tell me if you had any idea this was your style of leadership. Look up your style on one other scholarly site and tell me what it says about your style. In summing it up, leadership is important to the organization. Sometimes the leadership style you choose could depend on the situation you're in. Leadership is the meat of the organization, and if the leadership is bad, everything goes downhill for the organization.